We're looking at the very first question of the 2018 Higher Paper 1. And as soon as you look at it, it's a bit mean for a first question, but actually you probably do know what to do. So just stay calm and watch this. Here we go. So we've got the cube root of 64 times 1,000. Now you may not remember that actually you can split that into the cube root of 64 times the cube root of 1,000. The cube root of 64 is 4. And you are supposed to know the cube roots. You're supposed to know the cubes and the cube roots all the way up to 10 cubed. And there's a clue because this one, cube root of 1,000, is 10. So what we've actually got is 4 times 10, which is 40. So a question that looked really nasty isn't that bad at all. Question 2. Again, looks quite worrying, but let's have a look at it. The vector -2, 3 translates A to B. So let's do a little sketch. We'll call that one A. Now, according to this, it's going -2 in the x direction, so it's going over there, and then it's going up 3. So B would be there. So we've gone across 2, up 3. It's only a sketch, remember. Now we've got to translate B to A. So what would we do to get to A from B? Well, we'd go over 2 in the x direction, but down 3. So which one of those shows that? It's that one. Question 3. Circle the expression that is equivalent to 3a minus a times 4a plus 2a. Now, this is where we have to remember BrodieMaths, and so we can see that there's a multiplication which will have to be done first. A times 4a is 4a squared. 3a minus 4a squared plus 2a. So that's going to be 5a minus 4a squared, which is that one there. Question 4. Circle the number that is closest in value to that. Let's see, let's do a bit of rounding. That's going to be 10. And this I'm going to round to 0.02. So we've got 10 divided by 0.02. So I'm going to write this again here. 10 divided by 0.02. Now the reason I've put it here is just to show you that actually I don't want to divide by 0.02. What you can do is multiply both elements by 100. 10 times 100 is actually 1,000, and 0.02 times 100 is 2. And now we've got 1,000 divided by 2, and the answer to that is, of course, 500. And that is the answer. You don't have to divide back down. So long as you multiply both parts, we could do the same thing here. Multiply both parts by 100. So there's 1,000, and there's 2. So we can see it's 500. Question 5. Solve this here. So let's multiply out the brackets first of all. Actually, I'm not going to multiply out the brackets first of all. I could have done, but I've chosen actually to divide both sides by 5. The left-hand side becomes x plus 3, and that is less than 12. So I don't need the brackets actually, so x plus 3 is less than 12. Take 3 off both sides, x is less than 9. Now you might want to check that that works. So let's say that x is 8. 8 plus 3 would be 11. 5 11s are 55, which is less than 60. So x is less than 9. Question 6. The height of Zach is 1.86 meters. The height of Fred is 1.6 meters. Write the height of Zach as a fraction of the height of Fred. That means we are putting 1.86 over 1.6. The height of Zach as a fraction of the height of Fred. We're going to get an improper fraction. That's fine. Let's multiply both the numerator and the denominator by 10. So we've got 18.6 over 16. Well, actually, let's multiply by 100. So multiply by another 10 again. So we've got 186 over 160. And now we're going to simplify. I'm going to divide them both by 2. So we're going to have 93 over 80. And that has to be our final answer. So in the answer block, that's what we're going to write. 93 over 80. The height of Zach as a fraction of the height of Fred in its simplest form. Okay, question 7. A is at 0.2, B is at 6.5, and they're points on the straight line ABCD. It says that AB is equal to BC, AB is equal to BC, and that's equal to CD. Work out the coordinates of D. Okay, well, let's consider how would we get from A to B. We would go 6 in the X direction and 3 in the Y direction. So let's go to C. We're going 6 in the X direction, so that's going to be at 12, because we know B is at 6. And we're going 3 up from 5, so that's going to be at 8. Remember, the diagram is not drawn accurately, so that's why it looks strange, because that's at 2 on the y-axis, that's at 5 on the y-axis. So there we are, there's the 3 up that we went. We're going across 6 again, so that's going to get us to 18. And we're going up 3 again, so that's going to get us to 11. So the coordinates of D are 18, 11. Question 8. A coin is thrown 50 times, it lands on heads 31 times. Write down the relative frequency it lands on heads. Now there is a bit of a clue here. Write down. Usually if it says write down, it means that the answer is there in front of us, which it is. It's 31 out of 50. That's the relative frequency of it landing on heads. Part B. Raj says the coin is biased towards heads. Use the data to give a reason why he might be correct. So you've got to give an explanation such as we would expect the relative frequency to be 25 out of 50, which is a half, but it is higher than that. So it may be biased. Question 9. The range of a set of numbers is 15 1/4. The smallest number is -2 7/8. Work out the largest number. Well, I would like a number line here, so I'm going to draw one just there. There's 0, and the smallest number is there, which is -2 7/8. The range is 15 1/4. That means the difference between the biggest and the smallest is 15 1/4. So actually, the range is that much. So we've got to find that distance there, because that's going to tell us where the largest number is. And we can do that by saying we've got 15 1/4 as the full range. Let's subtract the 2 7/8. So 15 1/4 subtract 2 7/8. And it's probably going to be easiest to convert these to improper fractions. So 15 times 4 is 60, plus 1 makes 61 over 4. Subtract 2 8s is 16, plus 7 is 23, 23 over 8. We want the denominators to be the same, so we're going to make them both 8. So this one's going to be 122 over 8, double 61, double 4, minus 23 over 8, and that is going to give us 99 over 8, which is a top-heavy and improper fraction, of course. So now let's change that to a mixed number. That is going to be 12 3/8. So there's our answer. Put it on the answer line, 12 3/8. Question 10. Y is inversely proportional to X. Complete this table. Well, I'm going to do it the old-fashioned way and say, well, if it's inversely proportional, it's going to be Y equals K over X. We've been given a value of Y and X, so we can put 4 in for Y and 6 in for X, so we can see that K is 24. 4 6 is 24. So Y equals 24 over X. So when X is 12, Y will be 24 over 12, which is 2. And when Y is 8, 8 equals 24 over X. Swap those two over, X equals 24 over 8. X is 3. Question 11. A large rectangle is made by joining 3 identical small rectangles as shown. So 3 identical small rectangles. The perimeter of one small rectangle is 15 centimeters. work out the perimeter of the large rectangle. Well, one of my students said to me it's like a logic problem, and that's exactly how we should view it. It's just a puzzle to solve. It says the perimeter of one small rectangle is 15, so I'm going to pick that one there. And if I call that side x, immediately, because the rectangles are identical, we can see that that must be x for that one, and that must be x as well, which means that that side is 2x. So we can say that side is 2x, and of course that is x. And so now we know that we've got, starting there, x plus 2x. So along there, down there, across there, another x, and up there, another 2x. So altogether that's 6x, and we've been told that 6x is equal to 15, which means that x must be 15 divided by 6, and that is 2.5 centimeters. And now we know what x is, we can look at the whole shape. We know that that must be 2x to match that one because they're identical. So all the way around, that's going to be 3x plus 2x plus 3x and another 2x. And that comes to 10x. X is 2.5, so 10 lots of 2.5. 10 times 2.5 equals 25. So the answer is 25 centimeters.